So the first story I wanted to intro to you guys is about national parks and conservation. So of course we are coming up on 100 years of national park service. And I'm look, yes, I am the dykey lesbian that loves national parks, and I'm gonna fucking talk about it, okay? So what I wanted to talk about is that the UN Environment and International Union for Conservation of Nature shows that 14.7% of land and 10% of territorial waters on the planet are now under some form of protection, which is great, and we're very close to meeting the goal of 17% by 2020. However, there's an interesting article by Time magazine that's basically saying that this is really sort of a feel-good number, that while this is great that we're conserving this land, we're not actually doing a lot for the actual habitats and for sort of the less, just the less beautiful, things that are easy to take photos in front of. So like the wildlife, the plants, the animals, and a lot of this is still undefended by park rangers. So I want to talk to you guys about what do you think the future is for national parks internationally and also within the United States? Do you think that conservation is important? Do you appreciate this part of, that this is a fundamental, I think, block of being an American is, going to these national parks and observe it. Why are you laughing at me, Hassan? I'm not going to laugh at your story.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at all. I think this is a great subject. And no, as a human, I believe fuck the national parks. I know Wes is going to probably get mad at me as well for this because he's a conservationist.
You think fuck the national parks?
Fuck the national parks. Let's focus fully on advancing technology so that we can go and colonize Mars and live there and make potatoes from our feces, and eventually we can fuck that planet as well, at which point we'll probably find aliens in another planet, and then we can live with them and destroy their communities and ecosystems as well.
Great, solid plan. Ja'Cory, what do you think? What do you think about conservation?
I think obviously that's something we need to take focus on. I think it's not mutually exclusive from advancing technology. I don't think it's one or the other necessarily. I think they're both things we can do to advance our species as we have been doing and try to conserve the planet that we do live on while we're advancing that species. I think it's...
So basically what this article is saying, and I want to get your take on this, Wes, is that the gains made in the quantity of protected areas, which seems to be doing really good, also has to be matched by the quality and improvements of these areas. Would you agree with that?
100%, because what you're talking about is essentially the kind of land that we name as parkland in the United States is land nobody else wants. It's desert, it's scrub, it's in mountains, it's not what's producing the most oxygen, it's not what's creating the biggest carbon sink, and there isn't enough land that's protected.
Yeah, so do you guys enjoy the national parks?
When's the last time you went to one?
This is making me so mad.
I've probably been to something. I mean, I've been to like Runyon. Is that a national park?
No. Ja'Cory, have you been to, Joshua Tree?
Yeah, I've been to a few national parks
Thank you.
On the East Coast and on the West Coast.
I'm a dick because I like urban environments. I'm sorry.
Why do you have this like bipolar, like one or the other? Like it's only national parks or only urban environments?
Yeah, why does it got to be one or the other?
I don't like parks.
Why not?
I don't know. I think it's a waste of space.
Do you like
knock
breathing?
it down?
Do you like breathing?
Breathing?
Do you like
breathing?
breathing?
I do like breathing.
Okay.
No,
well,
I know. I'm fucking around. I'm playing like a pretty terrible game of devil's advocate. I'm sorry.
Well, we're trying to have a real conversation here, man.
Okay, sorry. Go on.
No, that's it. I mean...
You like national parks?
I think national parks, yeah, are super important, like Wes was saying. If you like oxygen, you should have a strong case for national parks.
Clean water,
This is more
clean
about,
water.
okay, so from what I'm understanding from this story is that this isn't necessarily about expanding national parkland, but more so about preserving the ecosystem in a way that specifically helps the wildlife live there as well. Like, it's not just about, like, what we are missing the mark on in America and internationally, my understanding is that we don't really care about, making sure the ecosystem in national parks or preserved forest lands are as secure as they normally would be without human influence.
Yeah, basically what this story is saying is that we do need to expand our, quantity of preservation a little bit more. But within that, we need to make sure that we're actually preserving the quality of these sites, because we can't just, have like, oh, don't do anything here, and then if people are still graffitiing, like we covered on Pop Trigger a little while back, how people were graffitiing all over Yellowstone, that doesn't really help us at all. So I think that this was a nice story that I wanted to talk a little bit about because I love national parks, and I would encourage you, especially since they've been around for 100 years, to please appreciate our national parks.
I couldn't really tell from your mountain tattoo.
Thank you. Look at this.
You were
How
appreciative of...
fucking gay. But yes, I do love national parks, and please,